Yeah, but then we're not gonna.
My
watch
brother.
it for this. What's up, man?
Killer Mike Bigger.
What up?
What's the word?
Man, I'm well. Man, these studios are nice. Like a country boy ain't using this much wood on the floor.
Now, it's funny, like I was just telling Schultz, man, I always say Killer Mike is one of my top 5
He said top 5 MCs of all time.
And
That's
whenever I tell people that know, they're like,
go,
hell yeah,
of course,
yo,
yeah.
you fuck with Mike.
Other people be like, you fucking crazy.
You fucking out of your goddamn mind? What the fuck is wrong with you? But tell them a little bit about yourself, Mike. Where you from?
I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I was raised by my grandparents because my parents were too young to have children when they had me. My dad ended up being an Atlanta City police officer. My mom ended up being a florist in Queen Penn. I went to incredibly great schools in the Collier Heights District and Frederick Douglass and Morehouse. And I'm a Renaissance man of the motherfucking streets of America.
And it's funny because like he went to Morehouse.
Yep.
Yeah.
But your mother was I'm about to say D boy, but a D girl.
She was a Queen Penn. She wasn't no D girl. My mother.
What's that? What's a D girl?
That's a D boy is somebody who's had experience listening to a lot of Jeezy and running around with packages of dope in his pocket. My mother was arrested 2 weeks before my 15th birthday for attempting to buy 20 kilos of cocaine in Griffin, Georgia.
And then she ended up being
supplier,
a florist.
No, she was a florist first. See.
So she was selling coke as
my
hustle.
mother was a florist by trade.
Okay.
She did Christmas trees for Dominique Wilkins' mothers, politicians' mothers, and eventually the white women these rich ass white women, this black girl they were paying thousands of dollars to do floral arrangements at weddings and shit, they just started asking, you know where to get coke.
You know where to get that coke.
And my mom wasn't stupid. She was like, yeah. And she had a successful business in that. If you're a business person, you think like a business person. So, it's not like, they knew cocaine was the downfall of the world then. It was just a matter of my mom realized that the shit that her friends were partying with was in high demand in Marietta, and those women weren't going to ever go. And she supplied a need, and it grew. And then she started dating, of course, more successful guys. Met a guy who's a great guy, man. My man, Anthony King. He went and did some time, actually took the whole case so my mom wouldn't go to jail and can stay out and be a mom for us. He got out a few years back. I love him to death like a stepdad, dare I say. He's a great dude, but he ate the case, but he had to connect out at, I think, the Bahamas, and he and my mom did a lot of good, fair business with people. First time I ever counted $100,000 sitting in the middle of my mama's waterbed with her.
Wow.
So that's why I'm not as impressed by a lot of the shit that other rappers
This is
get.
a crazy story.
Schultz loves this.
I love it.
This
is so regular.
We was in L.A.
I rap about her all the time.
We was in L.A. and I was with Suge Knight's niece.
Yeah.
Polly. So she was just telling us all the stories, and he was just super intrigued. So he loves this kind of shit.
Fucking was eating it up.
Right, he got a screenplay going in his head right now.
That's like me when I watch Goodfellas, the Harry Hill story.
Or like Sopranos. Like when you watch some Italian shit, you're like, this happens?
Exactly. Well, I believe and know it happens because I was raised in an environment,
okay,
and it's normal.
So your mom starts selling drugs to service this need that's out there, right? Right or wrong? Right
or wrong to do that?
Morally.
In the 80s, it was right. I mean, what was wrong about it?
It was right to well, it's illegal. You can't, selling drugs is illegal.
But I'm from where people sell moonshine.
Yeah.
Because people don't want to pay a tax to the federal government, and their liquor's better. So I'm not saying now I can look in retrospect and be like, oh, that's fucked up. The community is just fucked up. Back then, people were just throwing freebase parties, having fun.
It was a recreational drug.
Yeah, it was coming out of the disco era. My mom listened to Donna Summer. She was an artist. Half her friends were gay white men. Half her friends were artistic black women. They were just artists. She didn't go into it like, one day I'm going to purchase 100 kilos of cocaine. Yeah. She was a woman making thousands of dollars doing floral arrangements, and white women started saying, hey, do you know where to get it? And it was, the 80s was just partying. I don't want people to think the 80s was everything you seen on New Jack City. No, I was a kid, but I can remember my mom moved out at 19 years old. She had me at 16, moved out at 19, bought her own house at 20 years old, and on Friday night, our house would just turn into sleepover. All the kids would be upstairs, because my mom bought a house with a full basement, den, 3-4 bedrooms, so the kids would just all be hanging out together, and all the parents just would be down there partying. like a motherfucker.
I remember that too growing up in the 80s because my father was huge on James Brown.
Yeah.
He too sold cocaine. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And wore all leather everything.
Exactly.
You know, but it was just a big party.
And it was a shot house culture because their parents went to shot houses. Their in the South, there's a thing called shot houses where my grandpa and his younger, he would pick up moonshine from Edenton that his brother-in-law brewed.
Yeah.
He'd bring it to the shot house that his cousin owned in Edgewood and Kirkwood. That's Little Mexico. Future them in Trouble called the neighborhood Little Mexico. His cousin owned a shot house there. So we were familiar with things that weren't necessarily legal, but that was the place where black people communed outside of barbershops and churches.
What is shout houses?
A shot house where you would go buy a shot of liquor.
Ah, okay. I'm like blown away. I don't know about that. I'm from New York City, man. We didn't have moonshine. You know what I mean? We didn't have.
Before black
parties.
people would go party next to white people in Buckhead and give all our money to another tax base. What would happen was people with nice houses or big yards would just essentially convert the bottoms of their basements or their yards into a club.
That's what my father did. My father always had a nightclub. Like even right now to this day, if you go to Mons Corner, South Carolina, the house he grew up in, which was my grandparents' house, he turned into like a sugar shack. So it's got a dance floor, pool tables, a bar, all of that.
And it keeps money in the community. Because those people are going to spend money with the stores in the community. Those people are going to hire people from around the community to bartend, to clean up.
Absolutely.
So actually, they're good things for the community. It's just that they're untaxed. So the tribulation with government is less about what was being sold or the things. It was more about
so
the
why not
just
pay taxes?
Well, you have to go through a 40-year fight to get it legalized, and then white corporations come in and take it.
No, why not just get
call it marijuana? Yeah, and her son did some dumb shit. I got it there in the streets. And did that dumb shit just because I was lazy. I didn't want to work a regular fucking job. It looked like selling crack was easy, and that shit was not easy. It was hard. It was difficult. You did all that dumb shit like make $100 a day, spend $99, and eventually common sense hits in, and you learn how to become a business person. But nah, it's not that that's all you could do that convenient. That's what was.
Let's talk about that. It's hard to sell crack.
Hell yeah.
It's stressful.
This is what we need to discuss more. People don't realize if we start telling them it's way easier to just get a paper route than it is to sell crack.
Yes.
Let's go about why is it hard to sell crack?
If I had it to do all over again, I would only sell supplies.
Like a pipe.
Baggies, lighters, straight shooters, clothes hangers. I'd only sell supplies.
Like bubbles?
Yeah,
from the
I
wire,
take the
just
clothes
walk
hanger
around with
and
a
I just
with
pop
a
them. I just pop them to have pushers. I sell Brillo. If I had it to do again, because it made more.
So why is crack so hard to sell? Let's go.
Because so many motherfuckers do the same job.
So the competition is crazy.
Well, it's not even that the competition is. You all buying from the same three motherfuckers. Them same three motherfuckers buy from the same one motherfucker. The only difference in the dope is who puts the most whip on the dope. Wow. You know what I mean? One motherfucker cook it to come right back. One motherfucker cook it to bring 2 or 3 ounces out. The other motherfucker kick it to bring a whole nother kilo. And you know his shit is shit. But he give you so much of it, more than likely had the trap just selling that bullshit.
Man, I got stuck like that one time. This dude gave me just some dope that was whipped too much. It was too much isotol on it. That's all it really was fucking isotol.
That baby last.
Man, every fiend that came through was not fucking with me. Nope. So I'm stuck with this half ounce.
You know, I know about all this just from watching The Wire. Like, literally all this shit. Like, remember when Stringer Bell went to the business class and he's like, "No, we got to rename the crack. Rebrand it." Like, literally, I feel like that is
Stringer. I hated they killed that character. I thought that was the only part of that show that I thought was bullshit.
You know that dude is English.
Yeah, I do.
When I heard Idris Elba speaking his real accent, I literally went, "There's no way that this motherfucker is English."
First time I ever heard his real accent was in Adamsville in the Cascade skating rink where Tip them shot the A-Town movie. Yeah. He was in there with Naomi Campbell. That motherfucker came out that English accent. And every pair of black girls' panties melted at the same goddamn time. That was everybody looked around like, well, we're not getting any pussy tonight. It's all going with
He's
him.
another one that gets pussy just off his looks. The shit they doing in Ferguson is fucked up. Period.
Who is holding these people accountable?
The American public right now. Thank God. Thank God.
Do you agree with T.I. when T.I. said, because T.I.'s a good friend of yours, that they shouldn't have rioted so soon?
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Tip in that we shouldn't have rioted so soon because that's your action card. Violence is always your action card. But I'm not sure that I agree that they rioted. See, I know COINTELPRO was for real. Mm-hmm. You know, my aunt was a former Panther in Atlanta. They declassified it where you can see they had an agent right next to Dr. King acting like he a photographer. So you can't convince me that a paid informant a police officer or an agent provocateur wasn't the first person to throw the brick through the window.
So you think it started off as a peaceful protest?
Absolutely.
Somebody threw the brick through the window.
Absolutely.
Police responded, and then that's when other people in Ferguson start reacting.
And mayhem just broke.
Okay, so why would they want to do? Why would they want mayhem?
But you want mayhem because you can only have martial law out of chaos. If
So
people are just
chaos, so
it tells you
that you
how to
can
war.
lock people up.
Yeah, you do. You
Stir up waters to catch fish.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And what is the benefit to locking people up?
No, I'm just not for locking people up. It's to shutting protests down
So what
to
is-
get the attention to go away.
But clearly that's not working. It's only increasing the attention.
Well, they thought it was going to work.
But it's not. So
Yeah, well,
why would
now
they
you can
continue
now.
to
You
do
done
it?
committed yourself to the dumb shit.
So
like-
you're going to continue to throw bricks?
No, what's happening is now the feds have come in. It's just like Mississippi Burning, if you ever saw that
Yeah,
movie.
yeah, yeah.
Local municipalities they get to the point where either they're going to be honest and handle it or they're not, and that's when you call in Eric Holder, and you hope that the feds do something. That's why black people have voting rights right now. It don't have nothing to do with police getting sympathetic or George Wallace deciding maybe we shouldn't do this shit in Alabama and Georgia deciding, oh, maybe we should go another route. It had to do with Lyndon Baines Johnson saying, hey, yo, get federal troops in there and let's make sure these people have the right to publicly assemble, to protest, and eventually to vote.
It was a process started by JFK too, though.
Absolutely.
That's why I feel like they blew JFK's head off
I don't think that's the only reason, but I definitely think that's one of the reasons.
for helping the
Black people.
underprivileged. Yeah, anybody that's ever tried to help the poor and underprivileged in America has been assassinated.
Yeah,
and that goes back to Jesus.
Well, he wasn't in America, but I feel you.
I think Abraham Lincoln with the Emancipation Proclamation. I think JFK, just personally, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Jr. So that lets me know it's not a race thing.
It's definitely. I think race has been something that's created to keep people apart. It's about an elite class and everybody else. And when I say elite class, I don't mean you people who live in gated communities who think you're rich. I mean there are the same way people say I don't think there's a small group of people running anything. But I'm a member of a Masonic lodge. What you talking about? It's 13 of y'all. Y'all can affect what's going on in your local community. Because you shake hands with the sheriff and you know the judge, and you guys can make a deal to make sure your punk-ass nephew don't get a drunk driving charge. So if I'm the Queen of England and I get $300 million in untaxed money a day just off interest, and I own half of Africa and a fucking waterfall's named after one of my ancestors, what the fuck don't make you think I'm going to be corrupt enough to make a deal on the side with another monarch of some type or another business leader of some type?
But who else? Who doesn't do that? In what business do you not do that?
That's exactly what I said.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if you can fathom creating a small circle of people in your little municipality or community, what makes you think that the people who really own the world? I have a boy who just turned 20 years old. He went and got a tongue ring. I didn't talk to him.
He's your son?
God damn, a tongue ring, Mike?
Hey, bro, pussy. It broke my fucking heart, bro. I love this kid. Like,
Does he have a
I didn't talk to
girlfriend?
him for a week. Yeah, well, a girl talked him into it, so I guess he has a girlfriend now.
Girls are talking into doing some dumb shit. Listen, I got my eyebrows arched.
Hold on.
Dumb shit.
We gotta talk.
Man.
We gotta talk about this though.
I'm talking about heartbroken.
I got my eyebrows arched.
Okay, go.
In the middle of the hood because of a girl. The same thick eyebrows I got right now I've always had. I'm sitting there, I used to do telemarketing at this place called Paragon Solutions. This girl named Shamira, shout out to Shamira. Shamira goes, you know what? You look real good with your eyebrows arched. I said, what the fuck is eyebrow arch? She said, just go to your barber.
She hit you with the Dominican
She
slick.
said, you look so good with your eyebrows arched. So I said, all right, fuck it. Hey, yo, man, arch my eyebrows. My barber look at me. My barber named Divine Allah. He look at me, he goes, you want your eyebrows arched? He said, God, what's wrong with you? What you mean you arch your eyebrows arched? I said, yeah, arch my eyebrows.
For the promise of some pussy.
He's like, all right. Arch my shit. I'm looking in the mirror like, what the fuck did I just do? But even though the dude was like, man, you look crazy. The girls was like, that is good. I love your arch.
For my boy, I hated on my boy straight up. I gotta tell you, the chick that he went with was kind of hot.
Nah, dude.
I mean, I hear what you're saying.
My dad said this to me.
And I hate the fact he did it, but hey, man, if you got him some pussy, man, I've done crazier shit for pussy. Shit, I made him 2 years before. You know what I mean? I think about it. I was 17, 18 when I made you. So if the worst you going to do is stick a fucking ball through your tongue, fuck it. I called my dad, man. I was upset. My dad's like, yeah. He started laughing. I'm like, what? Like, you used to be a cop? What you laughing? He was like, yeah, I've been meaning to talk to you, man. You know this is karma. I'm like, for what? Remember when you got that perm like 8 Ball?
You had a perm?
Oh, man. When 8 Ball MJG came out, got the perm, came to school with the rollers in.
Looking like Big Worm.
Hey, had the leather 8 Ball jacket. Oh, I thought I was 8 Ball, man.
Yo, it's crazy. You know, and I just, this is how I realize I'm getting older. I'm 34 now, so I'm looking like